Finally, after 5 long years, I finally have a reason to have a YouTube channel. 3 games! I just finished watching Attack on Titan Season 3, and had known about the games for a while, so I finally decided to get one. I nearly bought it for £36 on Switch, but decided I'd wait a little while till either the price went down or I had a bit more spare cash. I mean, this channel doesn't pay that well. Then I found out about a website called Woovit, shout out to them, and my channel just about qualified for a review copy of Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle. So, thank you everyone, I finally accomplished something. Maybe now my parents will love me. Hi, I'm PurpleStreak, and today we'll be talking about Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle. This game is an expansion to Attack on Titan 2, and is available as either DLC for the base game or as a standalone game, which is weird. If you'd bought Attack on Titan 2 originally, it would have cost you the price of the full game, followed by £40 for the Final Battle DLC, whereas latecomers to the series could pick up the two together for the same price as the original. But I suppose that's similar to Game of the Year editions of games. Unfortunately, it means it works out much better money-wise to get this game now than it was back then, as reflected by a lot of the more recent reviews of the game. Oh, and before I forget, this review will contain various spoilers for Seasons 1 through 3. So, if you're not up to date on Attack on Titan, I'd recommend adding this to your watch later list and finishing it before watching this video, or picking up this game. I'll talk about the cutscenes later, but trust me, you're best watching the anime than playing the game for the plot. And you definitely don't want this video to be your source of info. So damn, this game has a lot of content. I'm not even sure where to start. There's multiple modes to play. The story mode lets you create a new character who gets inserted into the main plot of the anime. Like literally, you play as a fanfic OC insert. For example, that bit on the boat where a young Eren says he's going to kill them all. Turns out you were just there next to him. And you were just there for every important moment. I love it. So in this mode you go on missions based on the anime to advance the plot, which usually involves taking out titans and setting up bases. Then in between missions you have a hub world where you can buy new weapons or upgrade your existing ones, and also buy materials to build these weapons. You can buy new horses, you can train, you can talk to people, you can see titans you've captured, you can go on separate scout missions. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff going on here. You've also got another mode, like not just another mode, it's called another mode for some reason. I think you can play missions with people online in this mode, and play previous missions you've completed, but unfortunately there didn't seem to be anyone online to join with, so I'm not too sure. Character episode mode has you play as main characters during key moments of the anime, rather than as your own character, which just adds a lot more content to play through. Territory recovery mode is another fun gameplay change up, where you play to recover the territory over the walls lost to the Titans. You have to manage your recruits, resources, and the amount of turns you have left before going back to base. Back at base you can use the materials recovered to expand the base, or improve the facilities there to increase soldier attack strength and stuff like that. So with that rough overview of the different modes available, I think it's probably best to jump into the gameplay. So I watched the anime when the first game had already been released, and I remember in the back of my mind thinking that the swinging from rooftops with the ODM gear and slaying titans would make one hell of a game. Although I wasn't sure if it was possible considering how formidable the titans are in the show. Like, how do you make a game about slaying titans when 90% of the cast get murdered instantly by the enemies in the game? On a side note, have you seen they've announced a One Punch Man fighting game? Like, how does that work? Pick Saitama and you automatically win, surely. It's the same problem Superman games have where Superman is invincible, so how do you make a game playable when a protagonist can't have a health bar? Superman 64 couldn't work it out either. Sorry, I keep going off on random tangents. What was I saying? The gameplay had a lot to live up to, and honestly, this game nailed it. Is it perfect? No, but is it fun and create the right amount of challenge? Hell yeah it does. So the bulk of the gameplay consists of fighting titans, fighting an abnormal, and then returning back to base. And on paper it's quite repetitive, but in action, the act of taking down a titan and traversing the world is just too fun. I don't want to sound like I'm choking on a Titan's chode just because they gave me this game for free, but I've not had this much fun playing a game in a long time. There's quite a lot of mechanics to break down for you, but I'll try my best. You can use your ODM gear as long as there are buildings or something to latch onto, and you can air boost as well to help cover some distance at the expense of your own ODM gas, which you'll need to refill if you get too low. The ODM travel isn't the smoothest thing honestly. If you compared it to, say, the web swinging in Spider-Man PS4, you'll find it's a bit lacking, but when you successfully string a succession of swings and wall runs, it's pretty satisfying, and as a whole it's just really enjoyable. That and the option to travel on horseback whenever there aren't any buildings around make for some enjoyable map traversing. You can also use your ODM gear to latch onto titans, which is how you'll take them down. So there's a variety of ways you can take down a titan, which I think is why it's so fun even after playing this for far too many hours. You can latch onto multiple points on the titan, the appendages and the nape. If it's a particularly difficult titan, then you may need to take out its legs first to bring the titan crashing down. You can even take out its arms to stop it from grabbing and attacking you and your teammates. Both of these involve doing enough damage to the limbs to have them fall off, which is indicated by its own little health bar. You can even go straight for the nape, although depending on the titan it'll either grab your wires or just throw you off. And if you stay in a titan's line of sight for too long, it will go into rage mode where all its attacks will be trained on you. And trust me, you don't want this to happen. You have a smoke grenade on your side though to blind them and take their focus off you, which comes in handy. You can also use a telescope to initiate a surprise attack, which will inflict a lot of damage straight to the nape, which in most cases will result in an instant kill. Now when I first learned this, I thought this was going to be too OP and would ruin the game, but using it immediately draws the titan's attention, so if you can't keep the telescope straight, or if the titan is facing you head on, it'll notice you and go straight into rage mode. And also, killing a titan like this means you miss out on bonus materials that can be found by slicing off limbs of titans. It also doesn't do that much damage against end mission titans. There's a variety of titans to face off against. Small ones who just have their nape as a target, medium and large ones, and then there's these large abnormals that require you to attack their weak points and drain their stamina before being able to attack their nape properly. Whilst you're completing your mission, you've also got side missions to help out a comrade in need, which usually involves saving him from a couple titans. And once you've done that, they'll either join your team or construct a base for you. And with them on your team, you'll see them pop up on the side of your screen to summon. These guys act as additional attacks while fighting. Some just perform an attack, others can be used to cut off limbs or to save you if you get grabbed by a titan. And as you can imagine, I had to use this quite a lot. Others such as A and S class guys will practically annihilate a titan in one hit, such as Levi, which makes sense. I don't think the Levi fangirls would be happy if their idol just had an average attack like the others. They do balance this out though by making his cooldown timer a lot longer, so you can't just send him off to blitz them all one after the other. You also get to fight important titans like the female titan, although as it's following the plot of the show, it can't have you just straight up go and kill it, you're just tasked with slowing it down, which makes sense. Also, who the hell needs Levi when you've got me on your team? That's it, Beast Titan's done, anime over. You also get a whole host of bases to create, ranging from general resupply bases, to manned or automatic cannon bases to shoot titans in the vicinity, and a mining base to earn extra materials after succeeding the mission. There's still plenty I'm missing, but I feel like I'm droning on now. Just take my word for it, there's quite a lot to this game, and while the mechanics take a little while to get used to, they feel great to master. Also, quick edit, I just got to the part in the story where you can control a titan. Only took 20 hours to get to. Did anyone else play Xenoblade Chronicles X? Remember how controlling and fighting in mechs was a big selling point in the game, but it took like 20 hours to even get to your first one? Yeah, this is that, but with titans. Also, a few seconds after getting control of Eren, I got stuck in a tree. Maybe he got spooked, I don't know. I also got to take control of Ymir for the first time here too, and thankfully she was a lot easier to control. There are a few issues, such as little glitches that'll crop up from time to time, like you just saw. One of the more annoying ones I encountered a good few times was when trying to anchor onto a titan, there was a rare chance one side would anchor the titan and the other side would anchor to a wall, which meant when going in for an attack it would start pulling away from the titan, making it impossible to hit, no matter how many times I'd latch and then unlatch, which led to a whole lot of aggravating moments where I had to quickly attack and not being able to. The only way I could fix it was to untarget the titan, then retarget it. Also, while most of the time the recruits are attacking titans and doing things on the side, quite a lot of the time during a major battle you'll just come across AI characters that just stand motionless, which just looks weird. Granted, some of them are there so you can recruit them into your group, but others are just standing there. Menacingly! Anyways, moving on, I really love the cutscenes in this game. All the most memorable moments in the anime either get a pre-rendered or an in-game cutscene, and they honestly do a really good job on it. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison. I already gave a spoiler warning, right? Either way, it's great to rewatch these scenes in a new 3D art style, but definitely make sure you've watched the show beforehand. You don't want to get the story solely from this game. It's also great to get extra character details from interacting with them in between missions. The next thing to talk about is the graphics. They're not bad. I really like the art style. It's not anything particularly new. I've seen the style used on multiple anime game adaptations before, but given the source material, there wasn't much else they could do without making it look like an absolute abomination. Have you seen the live action Attack on Titan? Yeah. Well, this game with realistic gritty graphics would look like that. So, no thanks, I'll take this any day. One thing I don't understand with these graphics though is that they don't look like they'd be overly intensive. So why does it drop frames so frequently? Most of the footage you're seeing won't be footage I've recorded myself, as my laptop just couldn't handle it. It plays the game mostly fine, but drops frames significantly at times, and with recording software on top? Yeah, no chance. And the game fares even worse on the Switch port of the game, although not enough to put me off buying it if it was my only option. I mean really, who needs frames? In summary, I'd definitely recommend this game if you're a fan of Attack on Titan, but I'd make sure you've either read the manga or watched the anime first before you dive into this game, as it'll ruin the story for you. The gameplay is fun, there's a lot of content and playable characters, the graphics are good, and it's just an all-round good game. Only cons for me would be the lack of optimization on some of the ports of the game, the occasional glitches and the frame drops, and how the price screws over those who bought the original game and now want the DLC. Thanks for watching, and if you're new then, subscribe! Subscribe, god damn it! The subscribe button is right there! Do not falter!